do know that over the weekend, and I lost my notes. Over the weekend, 10 names were released from NXT. As far as those 10 names, there were Harland, the former Parker Boudreaux, Persia Parada, Dakota Kai, Malcolm Bivens, Shinjana George, Draco Anthony, Mila Milani, Raylan Devine, and Paige Prinzavali. So there were 8 wrestlers, 1 manager, and 1 referee released by WWE. Now, as far as those releases go, we did learn that Malcolm Bivens was recently offered a new contract and didn't want to sign it. Well, Fightful has even more information on this, stating John Laurinaitis is the one that made the cuts and cited, quote, budget cuts as the reason. The email internally read, due to budgetary cuts and with an immediate effect as of today, 4/29/2022, we have come to the terms to release the following. Those cited have a 30-day non-compete clause. Oh, I didn't also mention Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis was also released. Fightful did write the following. We're told that Malcolm Bivens, now again Stokely Hathaway, had made it abundantly clear that he did not plan on re-signing. He'd also done this last year, but was re-signed as a result of a pitch for the Diamond Mine stable after not being used on TV for 2 years. Hathaway was offered a new deal in February, which he told the company he would not be signing. They're stating that one source in the company did say there is a significant push within WWE Digital to feature Bivens there. Now, Dakota Kai, in her release, it was said that, well, she kind of saw it coming. It was stated that Kai also made it known that she was not planning on renewing her contract with the WWE. She had several looks on the main roster with dark matches, but nothing. No call-up, no nothing. As far as Harland does go, after he signed with WWE and after much hype, many coaches felt that he'd not progressed since he started training to when they brought him to NXT 2.0. This is something that Dave Meltzer talked about as well this weekend on Wrestling Observer Radio, stating that many were baffled when Parker got put on television. And, well, you know, in my opinion, if he wasn't ready, like if they didn't think he was ready for full matches and to get maybe the same sort of, because they were hoping, WWE was hoping that Parker Boudreaux, who turned into Harland, could have been just as big for them as Braun Breaker. And when I guess, and this is just me speculating on what has been reported, when they figured out that that ain't going to happen anytime soon, maybe that is why they gave him the Harland character, to where a character he didn't have to do as much, if you get what I'm saying. But again, the interesting thing here is some said that, you know, we should have saw Harland being released coming as towards the buildup of Joe Gacy versus Braun Breaker this week for the title. 2 weeks ago, Harland just disappeared from Joe Gacy. So we'll see what happens with that one. Fightful also states that we've spoken to several of the release stars who have been in good spirits, all things considered. Fightful also tweeted out a second report stating, sources indicated that WWE had tentative main roster plans for Malcolm Bivens and had pitched his name as a potential manager for Omos months ago before they came up to the decision for it to be MVP. In addition, they are told that LA Knight was considered for that spot as well. However, when presented a new restructured contract, Bivens passed on it after re-signing last year. Fightful states that they are told that his deal was set to expire towards the beginning of 2023. Despite the main roster pitches, Bivens was said to have no desire on re-signing. In addition to Bivens and his deal being up in early next year, Dakota Kai's contract was also set to expire in April of 2023. Fightful states that Kai got several looks on the main roster in dark matches, but those that they spoke with, especially last year around draft time, stated, quote, there were no solid direction, plan, or firm ideas for her on the main roster, and had no idea if she'd ever even be called up. They stated again that Dakota Kai had made it clear that she did not plan on re-signing with the company. So when you say, hey, I'm not planning on re-signing. I'll stay out the rest of my contract. I'll stick out the rest of my contract, and then we'll go from there. Then you got to think, with WWE and the way they release people and this and that, you got to think that eventually it could come before your quote unquote contract expiration. So with, that first Fightful report we read stating that Dakota Kai kind of maybe expected this, that's why. If you make it known that you don't want to be here, as far as I'm not signing a new contract, well, then that gives them the grounds of, oh, you don't want to be here? We'll just let you go. We'll just let you go. So it is going to be interesting to see what does come of all of this. I do know Dexter Lumis now going by his, we got some breaking news here. I'm going to keep that for later. We do know that Dexter Lumis has actually been announced for his first non-WWE event coming up. He will be working, and I do have that right here. Let me pull up that link. For ARW on June 24th, he will be working the Born in Blood event. Will be taking place in Melbourne, Florida. That will be the first time the former Dexter Lumis, now going by his old wrestling name Samuel Shaw, will be wrestling, at least as far as we know, will be wrestling outside WWE. That is, as far as we know, his first non-WWE event, but that's June 24th. If we look at when these people were released, which was effective, I want to get the exact correct date. That was the 29th. Alexa, what is 30 days after April 29th? So all these people are free, cleared, good to go May 29th, 2022. May 29th is when they should be free and good to sign or work for whoever. So we'll see where all these people go. I know a lot of people over the weekend have been going, oh, Bivens, oh, he needs to be put with Jade. Bivens and Jade. Well, you're a smart mark. What are you going to do with smart Mark Sterling? You can't just say, oh, we want to get a Stokely Hathaway, so you're fired or you're out of your spot or whatever. I think smart Mark has done well with Jade Cargill. It's kind of weird when all of a sudden he just pops up as, oh, I'm the lawyer of Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. And it's weird sometimes. I mean, Stokely Hathaway would be phenomenal with Jade. But then what do you do with smart Mark? What do you do with Mark Sterling? You know what I mean? You can't bring in one guy just to be like, oh, fuck you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I mean, we could see, I would say maybe Dakota to AEW, but it's like they've already got too many women that they don't use or quote, use well. Maybe Impact. Maybe Samuel Shaw goes back to Impact. I don't. And then there's some of these that it's like, are they even going to stay in wrestling? I mean, Parker Boudreaux, does he want to stay in wrestling? Does he want to keep going as a professional wrestler? Because he was recruited coming out of college as a football player. Did he have interest in going to the NFL? We don't know. But we will continue to follow the story within the next month and see what we do learn of these 10 releases who were released again on April 29th, 2022.